This is our Christmas tree. I'm wearing a Kylo Ren helmet and wearing a shirt of Darth Vader riding a surfboard. I win! I will finish what you started, grandfather. What's happening, geeks? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and today we are talking about Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, spoilers. Now, if you guys haven't checked out my spoiler-free review, you can do so. That is up on my channel right now. But today we are in spoiler territory, guys, so ye be warned, spoilers lay ahead. Alright, I'm gonna take this off now. Hello. So yes, we are doing spoiler talk today because there is a lot to talk about, guys. I waited a few days purposely just to let the movie marinate, you know, let us all see it, take it in, take in the awesomeness that is The Force Awakens. Like I said in my previous review, I am still backing up my score of 6 geeks out of 5. I will probably never do that ever again for any movie. This was just so awesome and hit all damn feels. Now, like I just touched on in my spoiler-free review, I said the story at the beginning with the roll credits was pretty damn good yet simple. It reads that Luke Skywalker is missing and Princess Leia, or General Leia as she's known now, is searching for him. Which is interesting because J.J. Abrams mentioned in multiple interviews that Luke Skywalker is almost like a myth now. He's like an urban legend. No one's seen him or heard from him in decades. And obviously the plot backs it up, so that was pretty damn cool to see that he's just disappeared, which brings me to my next point. The character of Kylo Ren being Ben Solo, Han and Leia's son. I knew from the get-go that Kylo Ren was somehow going to be related to either Han and Leia or even Luke. I didn't know. I had a feeling he might have been Ben Solo, and it turns out he is. And it was just so epic when Kylo Ren's talking to that big hologram dude that's all burnt and choppy, and it's just like, your father, Han Solo. The whole audience was just like, oh shit! I'm like, fucking knew it. So reason being that Luke has fled and no one has seen him for decades is because he actually trained Ben Solo to become a Jedi Knight when he was a youngling. And like we've seen in previous Star Wars films, Ben was seduced by the dark side and became Kylo Ren. Feeling this immense guilt, Luke bailed and didn't want to be seen ever again. He became a hermit because he was so distraught. He's ruined this family because of it. Leia and Han have broken up because of that. Their son is no longer their son, which to me is so heartbreaking, you know. Your son is no longer your son. You've broken up with your partner because of it. It's torn the family apart. And I never would have expected that in a Star Wars film, to be honest. Again, it hit all the right feels. Now, getting back to the character of Kylo Ren, I love this character, not because he looks like a badass, because he really isn't, but because with the amount of layers this character has. And Adam Driver did an amazing job at portraying that character. And when he takes his helmet off, you don't expect someone like that to be under that helmet. You expect a big, tough badass, but Adam Driver just looks like a dude. He kind of looks geeky. When you think about it, Kylo Ren has a pretty bad temper. He's like a spoilt brat. If he doesn't get his own way, he fucking thrashes a console with his lightsaber. Which nonetheless was fucking hilarious, especially when those two stormtroopers are walking outside and they're like, That was brilliant. That was something, again, you'd not expect to see in a Star Wars film. But like I said, Adam Driver did a terrific job at this clearly damaged individual that has so many layers to him. And it was great that he didn't get killed off, because they usually kill off a villain every Star Wars film purposely to bring a new one in for the next installment. And I like that they're going to carry this guy over into the next one and hopefully episode 9. Now, another thing I want to talk about, the amount of blood in this film. For a Star Wars film, this was a pretty full-on and violent film. Like when Kylo and Rey having that lightsaber fight in the snow, he is getting fucking belted with the lightsaber. And I love how he keeps hitting himself and psyching himself up to get back into it. I'm like, this guy is nuts, and I love that. Like, he's bleeding everywhere. Poe gets beaten up in the beginning of the film. There's a lot of blood, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I dug that. They're not pussyfooting around it. It's like, no, people are getting the shit kicked out and they're getting hit with lightsabers. This is what a lightsaber will do to you. It is like a knife going through butter. What do you expect? Now, before I get to the big major spoiler, I'm going to leave that one for the end. I want to talk about the appearance of Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. I did mention in my spoiler-free review that he is in this film. I didn't state when he was in the film or how long he was in the film, but if you've seen it, you know he turns up right at the end. Rey goes searching for him and finds him on an island. Apparently, it's a Jedi temple, like the ruins of a Jedi temple. She goes up the top, finds him there. He's on the cliff looking out over the ocean. she pulls out his lightsaber and he turns around and there is Mark Hamill in all his old ass Jedi glory. And he looked epic. He just looked old, weathered, and damaged. I just love that. It's setting up for the next film that Luke is going to have so much more involvement now. And it was great that they didn't shoehorn him in right at the beginning of the film. It was right at the end and it left you hanging. And now, of course, we get to the big spoiler and the saddest one of all, the death of Han Solo. I honestly thought I would never be uttering those words. And it happened. As soon as Han yelled out Ben when Kylo is on that catwalk, I knew he was gonna die. And it sucks, because in your head, you kind of do this, like, oh, fuck. And as soon as Kylo is handing over his lightsaber and Han grabs it as well, I'm like, he's gonna ignite that and blast him through the guts. And he did. And at first I thought, oh, it's okay. They'll fix it. They'll fix him. Oh, he's fallen off the catwalk. He's fucking dead. And there was not one murmur in the cinema when that happened, except this one guy behind me. After Han fell off the catwalk, all I heard was this guy behind me go, oh, it's kind of like his soul had just been crushed. I think it's safe to say all of our souls were crushed in that cinema, all over the world when people saw that scene. I mean, Han Solo is an epic character. He has taken on the Empire, and to have his demise come at the hands of his own flesh and blood was heartbreaking. And right before he falls off the catwalk, he kind of touches Kylo's face and drops. Because right before Han and Finn went in to rescue Rey, Leia said, I want you to try and talk to him. I want our son back. I know there is still good left in him. Back to basics, a father trying to reach out to a son. I think it was cool how they threw us a curveball and did that. No one expected that such an epic character to die. Which is pretty ballsy when you think about it, because like I said, us Star Wars fans are very protective of these characters, and to do that takes a lot of fucking balls. And it was done in a way where it's not forced, it's not shoehorned, it was just well done. So guys, that's pretty much it in terms of my spoiler talk. I just wanted to touch on those things, especially Han's death, because like I said, it just sucked. But it was well done. So guys, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now that you've seen it, let's talk about all this stuff. Please drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts about the events that happened in this film that we can finally talk about. As always, thanks very much for your continuing support, guys. And until next time, geeks, always remember, cosplayers do it best.